talk about what I've gone through in businesses since 2005. I've tried to narrow this down and it's still way too long. But I got divorced in 2004, went back to work in 2 jobs to clean up the mess I was left. And in 2005, I went to this mortgage broker from the first church I ever attended. He just kept cutting me off after 3 or 4 words, wouldn't look at my budget. He's just like, give me the numbers, give me the numbers. So 2 weeks later, I go in and he's offering me a 12% 2-year primary mortgage and a 16% 2-year secondary mortgage. And he's only going to charge me $10,400 to do it. The payments were going to be over $100 more a month. And I lost everything in 2 years. My house would have been so underwater. It would have just, I'd have lost it all, just a little sooner. So I left and I compared the rates and I went down to the bank, and 48 hours later I had a 7% 30-year fixed rate loan for $500. And I expected to pay a lot more for a mortgage broker, but I expected them to find the best scenario for me. My credit wasn't that bad, but it was bigger. I mean, I had more debt, a lot more debt than I had ever had in my entire life. I'd like to say I hadn't thought of this guy in 15 years, but it's just become the standard. And let's go to dentists. So I saw the same dentist most of my life, and he was always the kind that was like, oh, look, that's so funny. Oh, isn't that so funny? In 2009, he just gets nasty and refuses to treat me. He starts pushing me off on his partners. So it's time for a cleaning and an exam, and I had lost a filling, and I went down the street. I get into this hygienist chair, and she barely touches my teeth. She's going on about her Bible studies. I'm like, that's great, but that's sensitive. I'm missing a filling. And she goes, listen, she's admitting her sins. And the other one's just standing there glaring at me the whole time with that face. So it takes another week to get in to see the dentist. And again, they're just cutting me off in mid-sentence, refusing to speak to me. The dentist walks in and he's like, oh, you need a lot of work. You need $30,000 worth of work. Like, okay, well, I can't do that. I need this filling replaced and we can set up a treatment plan. Oh, no, I can't help you unless you give me $30,000. Yep. I went home and checked out the business, and it was another business through Heather's church. Yep. They sucked up the last of my insurance, last dental insurance I ever had, and I haven't had a real cleaning since 2009. Keep paying for it. I don't get it. So then I moved to East Bend, and I went to YO a couple times before this hate group caught up, no problem. Then I go in, and the hygienist is like, the fakey coughs and the bug-eyed and the whole, you gotta brush your teeth, right? Again, just sticks the prongs in between and runs some polish across the front, and out the door I go. Then I moved to this area, and I get in with an assistance program. This was in January. Get an exam, get a treatment plan, and yeah, I told them about the TMAU. If somebody's going in my mouth, I'm going to tell them, I tell people that I've got this problem. And they swear they don't smell anything. I told them about the hate group. Since my neighbor was rubbing my nose in it, I'm like, listen, I don't know what's being said about me, but this group has been following me for God knows how long, over a decade. So I had that first appointment, and I call every week. I can't get an appointment. I'll call you back tomorrow. I'll call you back tomorrow. Oh, he's really busy. He just took on a new business. I'll call you back tomorrow. Well, that's fine. Make it 4, 5, 6 weeks out. I don't care, but I need to get started. So finally I got an emergency appointment. I had to show up and sit there until she made the appointment. And I get in, get the cleaning, and again, they just stick the prongs in between my teeth, run some polish across the front, and off I go. He starts filling this tooth, and he decides to do 2 or 3 more that aren't even on the treatment plan, right? And they charge me another $100 out the door. And all I'm getting is that face, and cut off in mid-sentence, and correcting my grammar, and pronunciation. And he's poured, right before I get up, right before he leaves the room, as soon as he finishes, he pours something in my mouth, tastes like super glue. Right? So the first time it wasn't much, and it went away in a couple days. But he's just, like, what's going on? You know, we're all in agreement here. I'm just not that smart. Because I keep expecting the best of people, and this is all I get. So I go in for the second appointment, and he does the same thing. Just as he's finishing up, he pours like 3 times more Bonder in my mouth and runs out the room. I'm sitting here with a mouthful of this stuff that tastes like super glue, and the woman's just running me over. So I get up and spit it in the sink. And I get to the front desk, and I'm trying to make an appointment. She's cutting me off in mid-sentence, trying to ask me if I got a problem with this, and corrected my pronunciation. And again, I'm trying to get this partial. This partial went from $600 to $900 to $1,500. The last time I was in there, that partial was going to cost me $1,500, and that face. So I go out to run a couple appointments, and I go back because, I mean, my nose, my sinuses, everything smells like super glue. And again, they're all gone. Every time I go by there, the parking lot is totally empty, right? So I call, and I think it was 4 days later, I finally get in. They're like, come in and we'll buff your tooth. We'll polish your tooth for you. And what do I get? Oh, you just must be sensitive to chemicals. Tee hee 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 hee. You know you gotta brush your teeth, don't you? Tee hee hee hee. Have you brushed your teeth? Yeah, it's like that. It's been like that for almost 15 years. So, and every time I go to Collegeville to try to get an appointment, what do I hear? Oh, he's got such a heart to serve. Such a heart to serve. Yeah, well, I guess I learned something new this year. That's called a heart to serve. So here's where I stand. Now my teeth don't meet. My bite is totally off. My front teeth that were always straight, now they're all wavy like a mountain range. Andy went and drilled the entire side off of this tooth. Now there's a big gap and it's just a straight line. That's called a heart to serve. Yeah, I've got tons of these, but I just can't get this. It just keeps running too long. Tried to narrow it down. So let's go back to the beginning. I'm seeing a neurologist. I'd had the disc fusion. I'm still having nerve pain and numbness and weakness and just a mess. So I go in to see Vrooman. And this blonde, she's running me over in mid-sentence. She keeps asking me questions and running me over. No problem, you know. I think I'm getting in what I need. The doctor walks in and asks me a question, and I answer it. And she's like, why didn't you tell me? I'm like, well, you didn't ask. It's not like you could finish a sentence. You know, I didn't say that, but it's what I was thinking. So I get this pain block, and the entire left side of my body is burning like I'm on fire. I call the office 2 or 3 times, and I just keep hearing, gotta just come in for your next appointment. Gotta wait till your next appointment. Gotta wait till your next appointment. So 2 months later, I go in, and I hit the exam room, and he walks in and asks, how's it going? And I tell him, and he's like, sorry, I can't help you, and walks out the door. I mean, not 10 seconds, and he's gone. And I'm in tears. I mean, I thought I was in pain before. Now I'm a disaster, right? So I leave the exam room, and I'm leaving the exam room in tears because I don't understand what's going on here. And there's this blonde, that blonde standing across the hallway. She's got her hands clenched in fists, and she's hyperventilating with those bug eyes, and she's going... And Vrooman's standing about 15 feet away with a folder, just standing there smiling, watching us. Just watching the whole thing. Yeah, been a lot of that. So let's leave Ohio and go over to Tennessee. CenturyLink. So I signed up for CenturyLink for internet in July of 15, and I had a couple calls the first month because the internet went out. We got everything straightened out. So I thought, until I paid my first bill. Then the internet goes out, and I reset the modem, sit there, watch, nothing. About an hour later, I reset everything, nothing. So I've got to drive into town to call them because I have no internet service out there and no cell service out there. And it starts, This woman is just nasty. She's just seething. And I'm like, listen, you know, I've walked through the steps twice. I don't have phone service at the house. Can you help me? Nothing. So when the internet comes back up, I get this message that my information's changed. And I log in, and sure enough, she's deleted my email address. This goes on. My internet's going out 3, 4, 5 times a day. Every time I call, they're messing with my phone number, they're messing with my email, they're deleting the information altogether. Every time I call, I get this email that my information's changed. I'm trying to talk to a manager, they're just passing me around. Sorry, I can't help you. I send an email. All I get is, well, don't click on phishing emails, right? So finally I get a service call established, right? This was early on, and it's happened a few times. Same scenario. Get a service call set up because it's just going out 4, 5, 6 times a day. No one shows. So I call about noon. Oh, they'll be there by 4:30. Nobody shows. So I call back again. Oh, we'll reschedule it for tomorrow. Nobody shows. It's 5:30 at night. This guy shows up and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I was already home, but I don't mind making an emergency call. I'm like, it wasn't an emergency. It was just never scheduled. Yeah. So yeah, multiple homes, multiple counties. I could sit there and watch the modem go out at the exact same time of day. 3 times, 4 times, sometimes 5 times a week for 20, 30, 40 minutes. I was so frustrated. And all I get is, sorry, I can't help you. Basically, you want to get what you pay for? Sorry, I can't help you. You want to talk to a manager? They'd pass me around. Oh, you want to get out of your contract because you're not getting what you paid for? That's going to cost you a lot of money. There it is. I wasn't paying for internet. I was just being baited for 23 months. I was just taking my whoopings. I'm sure CenturyLink has got a bazillion likes in Facebook hate group. Tons of these. So let's go back to today. So I finally break down and go to a chiropractor. I've locked up my upper back. And the first appointment, all I'm getting is that face from the receptionist. But I talk to the doctor. He gets me started, no problem. I go in the second time, and he's kind of short with me and kind of loud. But okay, I don't care, you know. Bad day. I'm in and out in 10 minutes. I don't care. Third time I go in, he is just nasty. And he just keeps running me over. Give me a number. Give me a number. What's your pain level? I'm like, I'm not in pain. I'm locked up. Just tell me. Give me a number. So finally, I'm like 5. And as I'm laying down, I'm like, I'm locked up right here. He hits me so hard, I literally can't breathe for like 10 seconds. He had me in tears. And then he didn't want me to leave until he adjusted my neck, and he ripped my head to my shoulder. I've never had a chiropractor rip my head to my shoulder, knowing I had a disc fusion. I had constant pain down here for over a month, and I still have pain all through here. I'm in tears. I am in tears. And as I'm leaving, the receptionist, that face, that bug-eyed face and that smirk, right? Coincidence? Just a bad day? This guy literally bruised my back. The next week I go in to donate, and I got these employees coming up. Oh, I got it worse. Oh, I got it so bad. This one comes up. She's holding her wrist. Oh, I got a twinge. I'm like, oh, you got carpal tunnel. She's like, no, I got this and this and this and this. She starts rattling off everything I said at the chiropractors the week before. Runs off over to their little group of employees, and they're like, tee, tee. Yeah, it's like that. It's been 15 years of this. Okay? Oh, do I need to get into the car? Do I need to get into... Forget it. There's just too many. This would go on for hours. So anyway, let's get into some of the man God games. Let's kind of like bunch this up. I can go into a business and ask a question. And what do I get? I'm married. Or I got a girlfriend. I don't care. Do your job. Or I can go into a business and not say anything to anybody. And I'll have these guys prancing around going, she wants me, she wants me. And they'll be snickering and laughing and staring at me. I see you. I see you. I know I got to watch the Jerry Springer show. Or how about being followed around a business or followed by somebody and have them repeatedly stop and ask me if I need help or ask me if I need this or tell me about something. And as soon as I turn around and ask them a question, I'm married. Yeah, a lot of that. So I could do a whole video on REI, Mass General, outdoor stores. I could do a whole video on park rangers. But let me give you one perfect example. So I'm going out to this local park kind of regularly. And the ranger drives up and stops me. Like 6, 7 times he stops me. Oh, you might get dirty. Next time it's, oh, it's going to be hot. You might sweat. Yeah, I know. Next time it's, oh, it's going to rain. You might get wet. Yeah, I know. Not a problem, right? So then, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 months later, my dog gets skunked. And we take off. And he stopped there rolling around trying to wipe that off. And here comes the skunk up the trail towards us. So I stopped at the ranger station. I don't know that much about wildlife. I stop and ask if this were skunk's rabbit or something, right? I mean, it's an educational state forest. If there's a rabbit animal, they probably want to know. And this guy pulls up, and what do I get? Oh, Mary! Oh, Mary! Oh, Mary! Almost 15 years. 15 years of this. What can I say? Please, please stay married. I'm not interested. Just do your job. And if you don't want to treat or provide a service or product for a single or a divorced woman, put it on the front door and I'll take my business elsewhere. Otherwise, I should be treated with the same respect and basic human decency as anyone else who walks through the door. Till next time.